Hey, what's up guys, Tech Titan here, and I am back again with a brand new video. So before I begin this video, as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you enjoy my content, make sure you leave a thumbs up. So with that being said, today we're going to be comparing the Samsung Galaxy A32 5G with the Motorola Moto G stylus 5G. So let's go ahead and get started. So first we're going to start by talking about the design, and starting with the A32 5G. So the back of this phone is made out of this kind of glossy plastic material, and it feels decent in the hand. Again, glossy plastic means that it will catch a lot of fingerprints, so be sure you have a case on it or something protective, unless you just want to keep cleaning your phone over and over again. And the back also houses your quad camera setup, and I will be comparing the cameras in a little bit, but the summary of that is that you have a 48 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. And again, I did a full in-depth analysis of the camera on the A32, which will be linked in the description below. So the bottom of the phone houses your 3.5mm headphone jack, so that stays in-house. You also have USB-C, a microphone, as well as your bottom-facing speaker. The right-hand side houses your power button, which also acts as a fingerprint sensor, and you also have your volume up and down. And the buttons in general, they're tactile, they're really good. And the sides also the sides are made out of this chrome material to give it a much more sort of a premium look. Now moving on to the Motorola Moto G stylus 5G. So the back also has a glossy plastic to it. However, this time around the colors on it just look better, and it does a slightly better job at reducing fingerprint than the A32 5G. And the back also houses your quad camera setup, and basically it has also a 48 megapixel main sensor. It has an 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel depth sensor, a 5 megapixel macro sensor, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Same deal with the A32. I did a full camera analysis. It will also be linked in the description. So also on the bottom of the phone, you have your 3.5mm headphone jack, a USB-C, a microphone, as well as this phone's basically second biggest selling feature, which is the addition of a stylus. And this is basically meant to replace the LG Stylo lineup. Since LG stopped making phones, Motorola just jumped on that, and they brought the stylus back into phones. So the right hand side houses your power button, which has this textured material, and you also have your volume up and down. And also the back of the G stylus has a fingerprint sensor, so it's not embedded into the power button, but rather within the Motorola logo on the back. And so putting these phones side by side, again, design in general is just a subjective matter, and me personally, I like the way that the G stylus 5G looks better than the A32 5G. I think that it just has better colors and overall a much more complete look than the A32 5G. Now let's talk about displays. So the A32 5G has a 6.5-inch display, which is 1600 by 720p, and the G stylus 5G has a 6.8-inch display, 2400 by 1080. Now, as far as quality and resolution, I do have to give it to the G stylus 5G. I think it has a much better resolution than the A32. However, one feature that the A32 brought this time around to budget smartphones is the addition of a 90 hertz display. What that means is that your content will be smoother, and it does make a difference in my opinion. However, the quality goes down to the G stylus 5G. Now it's up to you if you want to choose the higher refresh rate over the resolution and quality. Me personally, the higher refresh rate is nice, but also the resolution and the quality of the display is nicer on the G stylus 5G. So it's a back and forth battle. Like I said, me personally, I'd still go with the G stylus 5G. I'd pick resolution over the higher refresh rate any day of the week. So as far as specifications go, the A32 5G has the following specs. So what Samsung decided to do this time around is that they went with a MediaTek Dimensity chip, and it's the Dimensity 722 5G, and it's built upon a 7nm architecture, and it is an octa-core chip. And you also have the Mali G57 MC3 GPU. And again, I also did a full spec analysis of the A32 and the G Stylus 5G, which will be linked in the description below. You have a 64 gigabytes of storage, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and you also have a variant with 128 gigabytes and 4 gigabytes of RAM, and another 128 gigabytes with 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM. The version that I have comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM, so keep that in mind. Now, the G Stylus 5G has the following specs. So Motorola decided to go with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 485G, and it's based on an 8 nanometer architecture. It's also octa-core chip, and the GPU is the Adreno 619. Similar 128 gigabytes with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and there's also a variant with 256 gigabytes of storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM. Again, what I got in house is the 4 gigabyte RAM version. Now, as far as the day-to-day tasks, things like opening up the phone app, the A32 5G tends to be faster, and that's due to the animation that it has. That's where really the 90 hertz comes to shine, just because it makes the experience faster, makes it smoother. So that's also something to keep in mind. Now, I do want to give a shout out to the A32 because it handles games and heavy demanding tasks slightly better than the Motorola, so there's that for you. So in the spec department, the A32 5G wins it for me. Now, as far as looking at the cameras side by side, I gave you guys the specs, and like I said, detailed reviews of the camera will be in the link description below. The A32 has a simplistic camera setup, with the camera app being straight to the point. It's literally just point and shoot, and you have the toggle switch between your wide angle and your standard lens, and the pictures that come out of this phone as a summary are pretty good. They're not bad by any means necessary. I think that they're pretty good. It's not as saturated as other Samsung devices, but overall just a decent camera. With a so similar story to the Moto G Stylus 5G. You do have a toggle switch between your standard lens as well as your wide angle, and it does have about the same quality of a camera as the A32. To me personally, the A32 just does a better job in colors and overall just exposure and showing the skies, and in general, just to me personally, an overall better package for the camera. So if a camera is something you're interested in, then the A32 is your go-to choice. Now, overall, as a summary, I want to say this. The A32 5G does have the 90 hertz display as a special feature that the Moto G Stylus does not have. However, the G Stylus does have a stylus. So that may come in handy if you're into that sort of thing, if you like to jot down notes, or you just want to draw on whatever picture you took. That's something that's positive about the Moto G Stylus 5G. And also another feature that I think is that Motorola just does way better than the competition is battery life. The G Stylus, the battery on it is amazing. It will last you way more than the A32 5G. So if that's also a part of your purchasing decision, I would definitely keep that in mind. Overall, both of them are pretty solid devices. I do have to go with the A32 5G. Now, display-wise, the Moto G Stylus is better. Specs-wise, the A32 takes the edge. The camera, the A32 takes the edge. The design, I like the G Stylus design, but because of I really mainly look for a good camera in a smartphone, I do tend to slide over the A32 5G, but that's my opinion. So in the comments below, just tell me what you guys think. Which one would you go for? Or if you already bought either one, tell me your experience. Leave it in the comment below. And yeah, with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.